Deary me. Let me get in, guys. Let me get home, will you? Can I just chill for 5 minutes? I've just walloped my food down. Been out since 8 AM. Pressure washing all day. Walloped my food down. Absolutely exhausted. Jakey's had a bath. He said he wasn't a bath guy, but he's had a bath. Turns out he's a bath guy. I love a bath. Is the audio okay? I feel like the microphone might be a little bit low, but I can't tell. Welcome, Matt. Lindsay, welcome. Almost a minute late. Almost, but honestly, I haven't stopped today. Literally haven't been able to breathe. Jamie, welcome. Stardust, I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome. Simon. Regan. Sheffield, welcome. Audio's fine, good. Linny's welcome. Barkley, watching your video on the TV and tuning in here on the phone. Oh, nice. Hello, Liam. You're right, mate. Any tips for cleaning PVC decking? Hypo mix. I wouldn't use Hypo personally on composite decking. I'd get some Max Clean Pro from Pure Seal or some TFR. Ideally Max Clean Pro, because if you've got any of those sort of dark spots left over, which you sometimes do with composite decking if it hasn't been cleaned in a while, the Max Clean Pro has some biocide in it, and that will even though you wash it off, unlike regular biocide, it will still have some residual effect afterwards. Thanks for coming. Oh, no worries, mate. No worries. Birdwatch with the... Yeah, I know. There was this fascinating little bird today that apparently he likes his own reflection. This little... looked like a finch, I think it was. Looked like a finch to me, anyway. And we made friends. A little finch friend. I'm literally exhausted. Me, Jakey, and Rich have each done around about 230 square meters of block paving today, which I think's like very good. Considering we didn't get going till about 10 o'clock. We arrived at about 9. Took a while to get set up and stuff, and there was a van in the way, and the battery had packed up, so I had to pull the battery off my pressure washer. I've got a van battery on the pressure washer. Unhook everything, try and jump start this van. It didn't work. I couldn't get it going. I think it felt like the starter motor was sticking. I don't think it had been moved in a while. Where are these notifications coming from? Ah, I've found you. And so I couldn't get it going, and I spent about like 15-20 minutes just messing about with that, and then I tried to put the battery back on my pressure washer, and the terminals had corroded so much that the terminals just fell off as soon as I moved them. So I had to like cut the wire, redo it, screw it all back on, and refit the terminals. Yeah, big day, man, big day. About 760 square meters of block paving all in. If you've not already seen, you'll be able to check it out on my Instagram story or my Facebook story. Big old jobby. No, it's not a jobby. I keep forgetting. That's not the right word for it. Loads of people have commented on me and Jakey touching tips on this video. I've literally had like 5 messages from people saying you shouldn't be crossing tips like that. Silly. It was a big country part that we were doing today. It was alright, thanks Liam. We got it all done in the end. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe we got it done, to be honest. The cleanup at the end was the worst, I think. There was just so much sludge. I mean, you imagine the sludge you get off a normal driveway and then times that by about 10. The sludge was insane. Smart Monday, let's go. Negan, welcome. Quick question, do you use a CRM? If so, what do you use? I don't use a CRM. Here's a little bird, look. Little chappy. I don't use a CRM. We've got a spreadsheet that since Zach is not with us anymore, he hasn't died, he's getting another job. My brother set up this spreadsheet and stuff, and it's really good, but I'm not very good at updating it because I've just got like 1,000,001 things to do myself, and I'm just struggling, to be honest. We had a roof clean yesterday, and our hose burst on the roof cleaning pole. Really like straight, it burst in a really strange place, because it didn't even look like it'd been rubbed, or I thought maybe it's leant up against Jakey's machine and like the exhaust has melted it or something while it's been in the van dangling down, but it's on the wrong side, so that couldn't have happened. And also there was no wear, like where the split was. It's literally just a split. As soon as I pulled the trigger, it just burst. So that the whole day yesterday was a write-off, basically, which was a shame because now I've got to work on my day off tomorrow, which tomorrow is never my day off. Tuesdays are never. If anyone's thinking of working for themselves, going self-employed, starting your business because you think you're going to get more time, you're mistaken. I've never worked so hard in all my life, and I've never been so busy. I've never had less time than what I've got now. I've never been less stressed. Like, honestly, just understand that before you get into it, because it's different to just leaving the job at work. Hello. I did eat all the M&Ms. We were supposed to share them, wasn't we? Ah, sorry. Because you were going to give me some aero balls.
I still can.
You still can? You'd share with me even though I didn't save you any M&Ms? Oh, you're lovely. I'm sorry, Maya, I'll get some more tomorrow.
But they were at that shop where we are picking the fun in
Aldi, Asda, Tesco. I'll find some, I promise. Alright. Can you shut the door, please, girlie? Yeah. If you're doing this to have more time, don't bother. So now Tuesdays are supposed to be my day off. Poundland. Okay. Tuesdays are never my day off because I always end up catching up on admin and stuff. So it's just like I'm pretty much doing 6 days a week every week, and then Saturdays I'm responding to quotes and messages and stuff while I'm supposed to be spending time with the kids. Like, it's just getting a little bit much, to be honest. I've got to order loads of Titan. Hopefully it comes, like, I need to do it now. Hopefully it comes by Thursday. Yeah, so cleaning a roof tomorrow on my day off now. I have my first washing job on Friday. It's tarmac. Any advice? Turbo nozzle, etc. I'd avoid using the turbo nozzle unless you want to use it for rinsing. I have found, hot take, right? Tarmac, everyone says, like, obviously don't use a turbo nozzle. However, I've found a light turbo around the edges, especially if there's a bunch of weeds poking up through, isn't a bad idea. Surface cleaner in a circular motion or like a figure of 8 motion, making sure you overlap, because you won't know it. You won't know if you've overlapped properly until it's dry, because everything looks great when it's wet. 25-degree nozzles on your surface cleaner or 40-degree nozzles. Either one is fine. Oh, you're gorgeous. Thank you so much. Thank you. 40-degree nozzles are a little bit softer. So if there's lots of moss, you might find that you don't get it all up, but you've got less chance of etching the tarmac and leaving loads of tram lines everywhere. 25-degree nozzles, circular motion, and then we find rinsing with the turbo nozzle is super effective. Not close enough to cause lines or streaks, but back off a little bit, and a light rinse with the turbo nozzle, I find that it gets the sand and the muck out from all the pores much more effectively than a fan nozzle does. You know, when you're using a fan nozzle and you get to the point where you've either got loads of aggregate or you've got a bunch of sand built up, and you feel like you're not rinsing as effectively as you could be. At that point, if you switch to a turbo nozzle, it pushes all that sand much more effectively, I find. But yeah, generally don't use turbo nozzles on tarmac. However, if you're doing like a tarmac car park or something, generally tarmacs in like higher traffic areas, you get a much more heavy duty version of tarmac than you'd get on like a residential drive, for example. So some people in commercial environments will clean tarmac with a turbo nozzle, and it's perfectly fine. It's like, because it's much more hard wearing and it can withstand a turbo nozzle. But you might find that if you're doing it on residential stuff, you'll just tear it up and leave streaks and lines, and you'll etch it, and it's just not good. So yeah, surface cleaner. Mark, welcome. How you doing? I have a potential block paving colour change from grey to black. How did that driveway hold up that you did? This would be my first colour change, but I've sealed a fair few before. The Block Magic is great. I would suggest at least 2 coats. It says 1 coat, but I would say go 2 coats just to be on the safe side, because we went from red to grey, which is, we still saw a little bit of red coming through. So I'd go to at least 2 coats if you're going from grey to black, and you should be fine. And it still looks great. Yeah, still looks great. Steve from Milton Keynes, welcome Steve. I've done my second job today with my Parker brand washer and dryer last week. I told you about the leaky turbo nozzle. It turned out to be an 035. I think your message might have cut off. I've now got the right one, 030. Done a good job today. Patio slabs and large artificial grass look good. Well done. Well done for figuring it out, solving the problem. That is what this industry is all about. You have an issue, and problem solving is a huge part of this job, I would say. If you can, especially when it comes to your tools and your equipment, if you can do the research and figure stuff out yourself and learn how your equipment works, and especially when it comes to nozzles and pumps and unloader valves and all that sort of stuff, if you can learn how it works, you'll be much further along than everyone else who just pick up the equipment for the first time and just crack on and just start trying to earn money as quick as possible. If you can do, the more research you can do, especially into like surfaces, chemicals, all that sort of stuff, you'll be flying. What a great weekend we've just had. Gleamguard, welcome. Dusted off the old chapping today. What nozzle do you use, Jake? One has higher flow than the other. I tend to use the lower flow, sort of the higher pressure, lower flow one, the smaller nozzle, for like clear sealing. Although I'm thinking about trying to put the big nozzle on and using the Tama seal, but I'm not sure if it's the viscosity. I'm not sure if it's viscous enough to actually go through the nozzle. Last time I tried it, I poured what was in the bucket into the sprayer, and I think it must have had stones and grit in it from where I was dabbing the roller, and I poured that bucket stupidly into the sprayer, and so it was just clogging every 5 seconds, and I just couldn't get anything out of it. So since then I've not tested the sprayer. Greetings Darren, welcome. Evening Realms, how you doing? Obviously didn't use the turbo on grass. I mean, I've seen some people using a turbo nozzle on artificial grass. I would just be very careful of what it's laid on. If it's laid on, sometimes it's laid on like grano dust or sharp sand and stuff, and so I feel like using a turbo nozzle or any sort of pressure has the potential to remove a lot of that sand from underneath. I don't know how artificial grass is made up, but I'd imagine that putting that much high pressure down, you're probably going to be doing something to the foundation. I would suggest an artificial grass. Just I think hypo's okay. I've heard of people using hypo, like if there's loads of dog wee and stuff all over it. Some sort of chemical treatment, and then go over it with one of those mechanical brooms, those petrol brooms. You know what I mean? I'm probably your oldest jet washer here. You say that, Stephen. We've probably got some old boys in the chat. Who thinks they're the oldest here, and how old are you? Put it in the chat and let's see. Let's have a little oldie off. Great job, you did love the video. Thanks, Mark. Are you talking about the latest one, the swimming pool one that we just put out? If you've not already seen it, I try and put out a video every Monday night at 5:30. It doesn't always happen, but if you've not already seen it, it's this one here, failing poolside massive restoration part 1. So you might find that interesting. We've been repointing, chemically treating, and doing all that good stuff with the poolside. Do CleanLink do a power pole kit? Yes, they do. Recently, they've just added it to their selection. So you can get, like, for example, I use a 35. I haven't got the CleanLink power pole. I've got the Gutter Vacuum Systems one. But again, these are some of the cheap. Oh, they're out of stock. Some of the cheapest poles on the market. You're not paying VAT on these poles, so that's accounts for most of the cost. But they come with these Pro Grip printed slide triggers, so you can slide that up and down the pole, which is really cool. And I can't speak on these high pressure attachments because I've not used it, but it looks quality. This wing nut is a good idea because I know some people have had issues with the plastic one. Yeah, looks good. If you can get them, because I think, yeah, it just said it was out of stock. Use code, I think code SMELT, or I think it's 5% off and free shipping, I think. Yeah, down there, look. There you go. So it's even cheaper. Hi Jake, burst pipes are a mare and always seem to happen at the most unopportune moments. Second one since Christmas, really, Steve? I went to see H2O. They've very kindly lent me a spare pole, a spare roof cleaning pole, so I can use that tomorrow. And they say they have all of their hose lengths are on M22 screws, so mine are all on big Teamer style quick release. They said they don't really get on with those, so they've gone to the M22s, and they have them in like 20-meter lengths on the reel, so they screw them all together, reel it up, and then if one of them bursts, which they do, you can just take that length out, because sometimes they've got like 100 meters and they're working really far away from the van. But you can just take that section out and put it back together, or get it repaired or whatever, and it means you're not losing a day's work. You can just still crack on. And they've got a repair guy that repairs their high pressure hoses as well. The one that happened to me was a bit awkward because it was on the high pressure hose. It was the small 1/4 inch one, which is probably not so common as the bigger ones, to be honest. Guess who's back? Tracy's back. Welcome, Tracy. I'll be putting the turbo technique to the test tomorrow. There you go. From Power Shift Cleaning, welcome. Grind to Prime. Big up Jake, everyone in the chat. Welcome, John. I've agreed to do a repointing, clean and sealing job by Jake. Would that epoxy shiz be good with Yorkstone and with a concrete base? I've agreed to do repointing, clean and sealing job by Jake. What do you mean by Jake? Yes, the as far as I'm aware, the Nexus Titan doesn't matter if it's a permeable base or not. Permeable bedding mix not required. What does that mean? I don't know what that means actually. Not suitable for porcelain. Suitable for natural stone and concrete paving. There you go, York stone, natural stone. So, what I'd say about repointing is you'll probably want to, because it leaves that residue over the face of the slabs, what I would suggest, what we're doing, we're actually doing a job in Wales, big Indian sandstone patio, and we're cleaning it, we're grinding it, cleaning it. Then we've got to make another journey back to seal it. We're going to be using some acrylic seal, hopefully from Pure Seal. And then we've got to let that set and cure, and then come back another day to brush in the jointing compound. And I believe it's a good idea to seal it first. I don't think you want to be sealing over that jointing compound. One, because it does leave a residue over the top of the slabs, and I don't know how well that will react. If you were to put a sealer over the top of that, I don't know what would happen. It might not be able to penetrate as good as if you do that afterwards. And also, if it is, I don't know whether this Titan is permeable. I think it is permeable. And if it is, if you're sealing over the top of the Titan, chances are you're going to seal the pores in the epoxy, in which case it's probably no longer going to be permeable. I don't know whether I'm talking absolute rubbish or not, but this is just what I've got in my head, so take that with a pinch of salt. We're going to be talking about Titan in a minute because I've got a new technique for it. Evening Urban Detail, welcome. Good evening Squeegee Dave. Darren saved me on a job I was on yesterday. Every day is a learning day. How did Darren save you? With some advice from the Discord, or did he come and see you in person? 69 years old, Steve from Milton Keynes. There you go. Good evening, Paul. Welcome. Stardust is 58. Lindsay is 43. Paul is 49. Simon's 50. Mick is 58. Liam's 21. Still can't believe that. John's 100. There you go. Still grinding. Washy's 30. Glenn's 53. Evening, Stokesy. Welcome. Halfway to 60. Jake, I'm looking to buy a garden hose 3/4 inch. What fittings would you recommend I buy, and where can I get them from? I got mine from PWSAS. I don't know what they're called. I've got brass ones. If you give Ollie a ring, I doubt that it would be on their website. I met this guy the other day. It was hilarious. I couldn't tell whether he was being real or not, but he was like, "Mate, I'm your biggest fan." Like he come up to me so enthusiastic, and I hadn't met him before, and they were like, "No, he's always like this. Like he's being genuine." I thought he was taking a piss. Let me see what they're called. It's a brass. You can call it a 19mm or a 3/4 inch hose fitting. There we go. These are the ones similar to the ones I've got. This one. 1/2 inch 13mm. No, it's not that one. You're probably looking for 19mm or 3/4 inch. There you go. Landmark Trading. There's one. They're bloody expensive, aren't they? And if you're looking for a cheap 3/4 inch hose that won't last, but it'll increase your flow from the customer's tap, Tool Station do one. Can't spell Tool Station. There you go. 3/4 inch, 30 meters. Look how cheap that is. 25 quid for 30 meters of 3/4 inch hose. I mean, even if it's disposable at that price, it doesn't really matter, does it? Compared to like what, 150, 160 quid for a nice one. It ain't bad, is it? It ain't bad. Tool Station. Had someone come to do a week with me this week. Day one, guy woke up at 8:30 when I said, all last week 7:30 at Tesco. Oh no. Yeah, that's instant red flag. Like, sorry, no. If he wakes up at 8:30 on his first day, and he's supposed to be there at 7:30, it's like, no, that was your one and only chance. You've messed it up. Like, if that happens on day one, what do you think is going to happen 6 months from now? You're going to have repeat issues. Just no. Sorry, no. Want to start at 9, finish at 1, and want 200 quid for sweeping. Ad, what you talking? Oh, I see what you're saying. If you're going to Wales, you could come and do my backyard. Tracy, I've never had an offer like that. Lindsay, are them Horsmore blowers any good from Toolstation? No idea. No idea. Oh God, look at me. I've just got out of the shower. I tell you, I haven't stopped. Music's a bit loud. Thank you for telling me. I was wondering if the microphone was a bit low. But, how's that? Is that any better? Oh, you've told him you've missed your opportunity? Good. Good. Good job. From the Discord, got my turbo stuck on my Lance and it was not coming off. Discord to the rescue. How did you fix it? I've got a pair of like monkey grips. Are they monkey grips or mole grips? Can't remember what they're called. Squeeze them onto the Lance and then an adjustable spanner to get the turbo off the end of the Lance. That's what I use. So, I've caught up with the chat. Can you believe it? Look at me on a roll. I've got some new exclusive footage for you, unseen. Next week's video, hopefully next week's video. Look at this for a repointing technique. Hang on. My hard drive is being slow. So if anyone's seen that repointing video that we did around the swimming pool, we didn't get all of it done. And there was still a section on the side that we hadn't finished. So we went back the next day to finish that section off and continue filming. And we did it in literally half the time. And it was all because of this technique that we had developed. We wondered why this one took us longer. And we realised it's because we did it slightly differently to what we did last time. Is it that video? Okay. So we've put all the Titan down. You wet the paving. So this bit is really important. I was on the phone to Craig this morning on the way to our job, and when you're putting the Titan down, the best thing you can do to speed up the process is as soon as you pour it out the bucket. The other thing we did, we mixed it in these Gorilla buckets instead because it gets it out of the corners better. Sometimes you get some wasted material in the Titan buckets. So here, as soon as you pour it out, the best thing you can do is push it around as quick as possible. Literally, I'm talking like 30 seconds. The difference between 30 seconds and a minute is the difference between it flowing into the joints effortlessly and the difference between it being a little bit gloopier and you having to physically like push it into the joints. 30 seconds is the difference. So even on a mild day like that, I think it loses all its moisture. If you tip it out and you allow sections of it to just sort of sit there, the moisture sort of drains out of it, and so it makes it a bit gloopy. So when you pour it, start moving it around as quick as possible, ideally with 2 of you. Good night, girlie. I love you. Love you big time. How's your ear?
A bit better. And Nanny put it some cream on it.
Some cream on it, okay. I love you.
Love you.
Have a lovely sleep.
I will.
You a bit snotty?
And some water went up my nose when I was drinking it.
Some water went up your nose. You got a bit on your chin.
Ew, how freezing my hands are.
Why are they so cold?
Because I washed my hands.
Oh.
And I leaved it in the water for a long time.
Oh, so they went all freezing cold.
Mhm.
I love you.
Love you.
See you in a biscuit. So getting it down nice and quick and moving it about. And also, don't be tempted to start sweeping it too early. So these areas that are in direct sunlight at the bottom dried nice and quick, and they were ready to sweep. We've done like 2 or 3 buckets at this point. So these areas in the sun are ready to sweep, whereas the bits in the shade are still damp, and as soon as you start sweeping it, it's still foamy. And so it's not ready. You just got to be patient and leave it. So what we were doing before in the other video is we were really trying to push it around and get it into all the nooks and crannies and fill up any low spots with the squeegee. And it's like back-breaking work. It doesn't sound like it would be, but it is. And I was so focused on trying to fill up all the joints, because you'll push it in, you'll turn around and do another section, and then that bit has sunk slightly and you've got to push some more in. We weren't worried about that this time. What we were doing, just flowing it into the joints as quick as possible. And then you see all this stuff that we've brushed up, all this loose stuff that we've starting to set. We've brushed it all up. I've got it in a dustpan and brush. I've got it in a dustpan, and I'm giving it all a light sweep, and then we're going over it afterwards with the little pointing tool. You'll see in a minute on the next one. We're scooping that material out of the dustpan with the pointing tool, and then we're going over it and filling up the cracks. So we've not pointed it at this point. We've literally just swept it in, squeegeed it in, and swept the excess off. And there are low spots, and there are little bits of, like, you can see that low spot there. There's a few areas, like especially around the drain and stuff, where it's not quite perfect yet. But now at this point, I'm going with the dustpan and the pointing tool and compacting all those joints with some excess material in that dustpan. And then Jakey's in front of me, sweeping off what I'm not using, just lightly sweeping it. And this is so much quicker and more effective than pointing it all up and then brushing it, because what you end up doing is brushing that excess tighten back into the joints and making a mess of them. And so you're like doubling up on the brushing work, and you're probably like pointing too early, basically. So this bit was so much quicker than the last bit that we did. And it looks so much better when we were finished as well. The quality of the joints were just infinitely better. So this would be the technique. You can see me, I'm just using the pointing tool, and Jakey is just sweeping up after me, basically. I know that's a little bit of a deep dive into using Nexus Titan, and I know some of you aren't interested, but if I don't mention it now, I'll forget. So I know some of you, like Craig's got a massive project this week. He's doing about, looks like almost 300 square meters of sandstone repointing. And I believe, Craig, is it your first repointing job? Because if it is, that's insane. Or at least it's your first time using the Nexus Titan. Is that right? Or am I talking absolute rubbish? So this is exclusive footage, never before seen, of next week's video. So there you go, have a little bit of that. Is that a sock on your microphone? Yeah, it's my son's sock. It's my 10-year-old boy's sock. It's clean, but it's like a little pop filter, so hopefully it doesn't, my peas don't, you know, pop. Hi Jed, welcome. Do you tell Sophie that your hard drive is being slow? That doesn't even make sense. He's got the smelt tee on. I was given this for Secret Santa. That's a little mouse clicker as well, look. Secret Santa present, how cool is that? I got to wear it up until now. Big up Harry, welcome. Are hose lock tap connectors any good? What would be an upgrade from them? I believe Karcher, believe it or not, do some 3/4 inch tap connectors. And I think Darren at PWS sells them. I use just basic cheap these that I sold at Sausage Fest, because from what I've experienced, they don't seem to affect flow too much at all. So these are just faithful tap connectors. They're just normal size. They're 1/2 inch. Oh, it says 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. So yeah, obviously you can unscrew that and it turns into 3/4 inch. But the hole size is the same as what you'd expect from any other tap connector, and obviously it restricts the flow more than what a 3/4 inch one would. But I don't think at that size it's going to make that much of a difference personally. And we're running, like, I should know, because we run 2 machines off the same tap almost every day. And so if flow was ever an issue, this would be like the first thing I'd upgrade. But it just doesn't seem to be. As soon as you've got your 3/4 inch hose, there's more potential flow. Bigger ones of these would probably help, but I can't imagine it's going to make that much of a difference, to be honest. Anyone know the difference between Smart Seal Extreme Driveway and Patio Cleaner? No, I actually don't. Some of them are just different branded versions of Hypo, and it's because they're very much targeted at like the homeowner rather than, maybe not rather than the professional, but it's supposed to be, I'm not speaking on behalf of them because I don't know, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be someone types into Google patio cleaner or driveway cleaner or decking cleaner, and even if those 3 products are the same, if they're branded differently, it's going to hit its target audience. It's just clever marketing, basically. I'm not sure there's much difference between them, but you'd have to do your research. Send them an email, maybe. Why don't you make a how to start pressure washing business in 2025? Jonas, welcome. I don't think I've seen your name in the chat before. Welcome. You mean like a course or like a video? Sounds like quite a vague how to start pressure washing. I mean, the first video on my channel was how I started for 400 quid. Looking for an inline valve to fit onto my hose to enable you to change between the lance and gun. Have you got any good recommendations, as there are lots out there? So I went down this route, and what I used was a very basic Amazon bull valve, high pressure bull valve. Probably the cheapest one I could find. Something like this is what I would have used, and they do work. However, and they're great for like rinse nozzles as well, because if you sort of half open it, if you take your lance off the end, sort of half open the thing, it's really good for rinsing, like high flow rinsing. Hello.
Hello. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you get any replies from quotes?
Yeah, I've just got a reply actually. We're having our house painted. Best to pop round and have a look for you at some point next week. That's the only one I've had.
Yep. Cool.
Right.
Mm.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Oh god, that was... I beat Soph at chess last night.
Barely.
What do you mean barely?
I'm joking.
I had you by the balls. I had you in... All you could do is just move one space at a time, and I was just chasing you around the board, and in the end I cornered you, absolutely checkmated you. You didn't want to give up though, did you?
But we couldn't give up.
So I used one of these ball valves And what you'll eventually find is O-rings blow. Like the O-rings are naff in these. Just generally in these fittings. You'll have these fittings on your pressure washer lance and all sorts. And they're just cheap, and they're just like, you'll constantly have issues with O-rings. So buy yourself an O-ring pack and prepare to replace them. But also these get super stiff over time. So the longer it's in use, the harder it will be to like crank it open and closed. And I think it's just wear and tear. But instead, if you want to spend a bit more money and do it right, bearing in mind, since I made this upgrade, I've not had one issue with O-rings. Get yourself, go on to have a little look on PWS and get yourself an ST2600 Q trigger. And what that'll allow you to do, this one is it's got the adjustable vario, which isn't hugely necessary, but this will adjust the pressure as well. There we go, we've got Sid Partridge on here, look. So this will fit onto your hose, just like your current trigger, and you can put any sort of adapter on there to make it fit. But this little Q fitting here will allow you to pop your lance out and put like a different lance in, or put a surface cleaner on there, because they also sell these surface cleaner adapters. There's a Pro Grip one, look. So you take your trigger off your surface cleaner, put this on, and it means you can hot switch between lances and surface cleaners without approaching your machine, without turning it off or anything. I don't think those ball valves are very good for your machine, especially if you've not got a return to tank system as well. I think eventually, especially if there's little leaks in them, because they can start, if the O-rings start to fail, they can start dripping, and they'll cause you all sorts of like chasing issues with your pump trying to hold pressure and stuff. Like this is one of the best upgrades I think I've made, is this ST2600 trigger. I've not had one issue. Thoroughly recommended, and I've got a video on it as well. If you have a look on my channel and go down to I think it was my first visit to PWS, which was this one here, upgrades and technical chat, posted a year ago.
You know the cat's in there?
No, I didn't. Naughty cat.
Aww.
Out you get. Go on, you know you're not supposed to be in here.
Just sat down.
I know, but Luca's allergic. Could you? Oh, don't matter. This shows the conversion that I do. So Darren sorts it all out for me and replaces the.
Wonderful.
Look at that. First time commenting, Robin, welcome. Wondering what the main chemicals are that you use in terms of brands. Is it the nuclear fallout worth the money, and what kind of prices would you be prepared to pay for your chems? Absolutely, I would start with the nuclear fallout if you're looking for some hypo. That would be the easiest, sort of strongest, best solution. Unless you want to look into like mixing it yourself, which, to be honest, I just ordered the nuclear fallout straight off the bat. Because it's already got the surfactants mix in, it's got the wetting agents, it's got the scent mask. Very, very good product. And it's the stronger version of the Nuclear Pro. This is the Nuclear Fallout Pro. So the Nuclear Pro is, I think, 10% hypo. This one's 13 to 14% hypo. Like the dwell times are increased and all that sort of stuff, so this will stay on the surface for a lot longer than your standard hypo stuff would. The only reason I don't use this stuff anymore is because I'm super tight and I've got like a farm shop around the corner from me that sell hypo, but I still buy the Surf Boost surfactant from Pure Seal, and this is the stuff that I mix with my hypo to make sure it foams up. But the nuclear fallout has already got all that sort of stuff in it, so you don't need to worry. But yes, I would recommend it. Other chemicals, I carry Hypo, Biocide, generally the Pure Seal one, the Back 50. I carry a TFR from a local GSF car parts. And that's it, really. Occasionally I'll carry like some Max Clean Pro, but I haven't bought that for a while. And occasionally I'll carry things like smelly gel and stuff, like stain removers. Oh, you think Maya looks like Sophie? Oh, do you reckon? That's cute. Ended up settling on 6 tubs of Titan to cover 80-ish square meters. That one that we did in that video was pretty much exactly 150 square meters, and I used the Mosia to calculate that as well. And we used 10 tubs of Titan, which is bang on 15 square meters per tub. And that's what I've used. That's been my experience throughout using Titan. It's always been pretty much bang on 15 square meters per tub. We used 11, but the amount that we scooped up afterwards and ended up putting back into a tub, we filled up another tub, so we had like a whole tub left over of like waste material. But you can quite easily pull that all back into a bucket, sort of mix it up again and pour it back out, and you're ready to go again, basically. The other thing with that Titan is don't discard all that excess material. Brush it all up, and even though it's starting to set and go a little bit hard, brush it all up and put it back into the bucket and continue mixing it with the next batch. Else you'll end up with loads of waste, especially on a big area. Evening JD Rides, welcome. No mate, done loads. Oh, sorry, first time using Titan, so you've done loads of repointing. First time using Titan. Sorry Craig, I misunderstood mate. I'm just starting out and I need a bit of advice with rinsing down driveways and patios after pressure washing them, because I feel like, because I end up getting to a rhythm that feels like an infinite rinse. It can feel like that, it do be like that sometimes. I would suggest that sometimes rinsing can take almost as long as actually cleaning the surface. Doing a proper rinse, getting all the windows, actually wiping the windows down or cleaning them properly, rinsing the bins, rinsing all the fences and the walls, clearing out the drains, scooping up your piles of muck and putting them into bags, and then cleaning the road afterwards. Sometimes, like, you got to be very strategic about pricing jobs where you know that your driveway sloping down towards the road, you've got a path, and then you've got a drain over the road, because essentially when you're pushing all that sludge down into the road, you've got to clean that whole road, that whole section of road leading up to the drain. All the sludge is going to go down in that direction, and it's going to leave like dirty water and crap all into the road. And so if you want to do like a thorough job, you need to be looking at that sort of stuff when you're quoting and think, this is going to take me a while to rinse. Like, where's the drain? Where's the water going to go? This is going to take me a while to rinse. I'm going to put like an extra 50p per square meter on there or something. But with regards to rinsing, we're trying something slightly different at the moment. We've got these, oh, I did have one of these left. We've got these 65-degree fan jets, and they're quite big nozzles. So this is a, oh, I'm not going to be able to see. I think it's like an 08 or an 09, so it's pushing loads of water through. It's not super high pressure. I don't know what that is, but essentially it puts out a lot of water. It's a nice wide fan jet, so it's like a water broom, and you can just adjust your pressure, like lower it down for like rinsing windows and doors and like around the edges, and then turn the pressure back up to like rinse the center of the driveway or the patio and stuff. And that's like a really good way of doing it. I've got a picture of that nozzle actually, which is easier to show you. There you go. So that's what it looks like. And yeah, rinsing is the main thing really. And areas that you think you've rinsed, like on bins and fences and windows, they look clean when they're wet, but then when they dry, you get all the dirt marks and the dust marks still left on there. And so what I'd suggest that you do before you start cleaning in a certain area where you know there's going to be loads of overspray and splash is to pre-wet everything. So pre-wet the windows, pre-wet the PVC, pre-wet the fences, and then when you start turboing and splashing loads of muck everywhere, you can just do a quick rinse as you're going and none of that dirt sticks. Whereas if you let it dry and if you haven't pre-wet the surface, I forgot what I was saying, but I think you get the point. So the other thing we've been doing is we've been trying those black nozzles, and I've not got an example with me, but you know those soap nozzles, the chemical ones that you get with the pressure washer generally? It's like a big open, super wide orifice, and it's just a tiny little black quick release nozzle. Those ones are amazing for rinsing down, but they use so much water. Like I can empty a 250 litre tank in minutes, because it's just super low pressure, but it's putting so much water onto the surface. But it's really good for pushing stuff around and like doing a thorough, if you want to get loads of water down and just do a super thorough rinse, they're really good. But there's a time and a place for both. If water pressure from the customer's tap is an issue, then you wouldn't want to use one of those black nozzles really. How does it brush up after being left for a period? So I was scared of the Titan stuff because I thought, oh my god, it's going to dry. I need to get on it like now. I was really nervous about allowing it to set too quickly, and I think in the summer that's a valid concern. But this time of year, when the temperatures are like between 10 and 20 on a good day, I don't think it's such an issue. But like even after 15-20 minutes, which is what the instructions recommend, it's still not ready to brush up. It's still foamy, and if it's still foamy, you've got to leave it for a bit longer, because else you're just going to end up raking it back out the joints with the broom. You'll know when it's ready because it'll be super easy to brush up. But on the other hand, if you do leave it too long, it's epoxy joint. It's epoxy, and it's going to like set super hard on top of the paving. This sort of riven style sandstone, where it's got that riven texture on top, is some of the more difficult to use with the Nexus Titan, because it's got so many valleys and like chamfers and stuff where it's like a natural I don't know what you'd call it. What's the word for when you've got like, it's like slate, you know, like a tear in slate where it leaves that texture along the face? Well, the compound gets stuck in all those little valleys, and so you've really got to try and scoop it out with the side of the brush, and it can be a bit of a nightmare. So I think like Indian sandstone is one of the hardest ones to brush. You'll find yourself doing a hell of a lot of brushing. That is most of the job. I mean, squeegeeing, I think grinding's the easy bit. Squeegeeing and brushing is like your back will be wrecked. Like after a big job like that, your back will be wrecked. Three-quarter-inch hose equals wider bore equals less friction resistance on the water. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. I've used Titan and I'd like to try your technique. I totally get what you're saying about sweeping too early and making the joints look rough. Great work and great explanation. Oh, thanks, Gleam Guard. Thanks, mate. Yeah, there's nothing worse than doing all that work and then getting to the end and thinking the joints still don't look good. Like you've either got a brush texture across the top of them, which doesn't look good, or you've got bits missing and gaps, or you've got too much excess in the joints. So I think yeah, going around with that dustpan and brush and just emptying a little bit more material into the joints and pushing it down and just making sure everything's topped up seems like it would take a long time, but it's much better than the alternative, I think. Thanks for the kind words, Gleamguard. Just like a small guide, 15-minute, get a trash can and 20 per litre machine. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Like, instead of doing it the cheap way for under 400 quid like I did it, if you've got some money behind you, 5 grand or whatever, 4 grand, and you want to get straight into it, you want to buy the best equipment, and you want to know which chemicals to stock up on, all that sort of stuff, here's how you do it. That might be a cool guide to do. Although I don't necessarily agree with that process of someone who's never been in the industry before dropping that much money on brand new equipment when they don't have any customers. I don't personally think that's the way to go. I think in this industry it's good to start small and dip your toes in and see if you enjoy the work, low investment on the equipment, and just upgrade as you get bigger customers. Lower barrier to entry, lower risk. You're not splashing loads of money on a brand new van and all this sort of stuff, and a massive machine, which means you need a buffer tank and you need a bigger van and you need, I think the way to do it is start out small and just see if you like the industry, see if you enjoy the work, see if you can generate inquiries and leads. And once you've proved to yourself that you can do all that stuff and you enjoy it, then I think you start putting money back into the business. All your earnings go back into the business and just continue to upgrade. I think you'll find a lot of the equipment that you see on like Facebook Marketplace is these people that have dropped 4 or 5 grand on a brand new setup, realize they've got no customers, the phone's not ringing as they expected it to, and then they move on to the next thing and they try the new business venture, a different idea. And people forget, like, to build a customer base, it takes at least a year or two to start getting the ball rolling, for people to start knowing your name, and for, to get your reviews in and start getting recommendations, friends and family and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't happen in the first week. It takes over 12 months, which is why I'd say to anyone that's just starting, don't expect results overnight. Don't expect to be running Facebook ads and Google ads and to just be generating loads of work, because you don't have any reviews, no one knows you exist, and you haven't got anyone recommending you. It's not that easy. It takes time. So that would be my personal take on it. Americans love a good ball valve. They do, don't they? I've seen a lot of American videos with them using the... What is your ultimate goal with the business, Jake? Curious, as I've been deeply thinking about this and I've changed my whole plan this week. No way. It's a very good question. I was speaking to Lee from H2O yesterday when he lent me that poll. And I think they're very much, because they're franchising, they've just got this sick new bin cleaning rig, which looks like a very expensive rig, but like they can do like hundreds of bins a day. Just sticking them on the back of this machine. It does all the work for you. It recycles all the water and stuff. They're investing everything back into the business and they're franchising and stuff. And like, they're setting up, by the looks of it, to just take over the UK. The sort of jobs that they're doing and the results they're putting out and the investment they're putting in, I'm not heading in that direction. Like, I don't want to expand. I don't want to employ anyone other than Jakey, because I love working with Jakey's been brilliant. I want to do the YouTube videos. Like, I want to do the cool projects, the cool transformations, little jobs, not like low stress. I want to start at 9. I want to finish at like 2 or 3. I want to eat well, and I'm chilling. Like, I've made the mistake, because I thought Zach would be with us, of putting loads of work in And now Zach's not with us, and now I'm stressing because I've got too much to do. And I would rather the opposite. I'd rather have less work in the calendar and relaxing a little bit more on the jobs. Because at the moment I've got like 3 jobs outstanding that I'm halfway through. I've got this repointing one because we ran out of Titan on the cobbles at the front. I've got this roof clean that we've delayed till tomorrow now because we had that burst hose. By the way, that roof clean, he wasn't expecting me till April. I told him the 9th of April, and I turned up on the 9th of March. He was like, "No, you can crack on. It's fine. It's just you told me April," and I checked the message and I told him April. This is how all over the place I am at the moment. That's never happened. So, ultimate goal for the business, I think for me, is filming cool content and just investing in the YouTube and the videos and the social media and stuff, and like sponsors and all that sort of stuff. I think it allows me, it takes the pressure off me to not be trying to like grind on the marketing and stuff. I think the videos and the before and after pictures sort of market themselves, which is great. I'm not paying for any advertising. And I think the sponsorships that the people that I'm working with, like I've just accepted a sponsorship for Holy as well. And so they've got a couple of videos this month. Moja, I've just renewed my contract with Moja. So that's cool. They want to work with me again. I've got all these discount codes for people. And I just want you guys to be able to come here for the best advice. Maybe not the best, but like no nonsense advice, just take it or leave it sort of thing. I want you to be able to ask questions and just like learn from my mistakes and all that sort of stuff. And I want to be able to give you like all the discount codes and the best deals and all that sort of stuff. I don't care if I'm making any, a lot of these discounts and stuff, I'm not making any commission from. Like I'm working on a discount code for the Nexus Titan stuff from Pro Tyler Tools, because I've ordered from them. I'm going to be ordering them from them tonight, and I'm talking to them about a discount code for you guys so you can get a discount for Nexus Titan and get it like the cheapest in the UK consistently. I don't get any commission from that. I'm just trying to do it just so that you guys find value in watching this channel, you know what I mean? I was talking to the Uncleanables podcast the other day about goal setting, and I don't know how to do it, to be honest. I think goals sometimes can be a little bit unrealistic in that, I think we spoke about it the other week. I could set an arbitrary goal for 6 months, 12 months, 5 years from now, and my situation could have totally changed. So what was the point in setting the goal in the first place when things could be wildly different between now and then? But then Ryan explained it like, well, you don't have to make a goal to be in a certain position, but you could make a goal to have this much money in the bank, or to make a video every week, or to start going to the gym, or like I have done, like I've quit alcohol for 12 months. Goals like that are more achievable than saying, oh, in 12 months time I want to have I don't know, I was going to say I want to have like 3 employees and 2 vans on the road, but like even that's achievable as well. That's a realistic goal if you want to aim towards that. I don't know. Goals are weird for me. "12 to 18 months looks amazing first off, but this is 5 to 7 years Titan. It's got better bonding strength and durability, so it's less likely to crack, and above all can hold being pressure washed." There you go. Hurt me spending 1,300 quid on jointing compound. I know, it's rough. It is rough. Haven't got enough characters. I think YouTube needs to either stop or slow down though. I want to grow it as big as possible now, whereas before I was just winging it and just experimenting. Okay, so you're like investing in the YouTube now. That's a fair play. Hurt you more being bent over grinding out, mate. Applying is an absolute pleasure. Get the content rolling. There you go. Richie, welcome. Cheers, Jake. That's the type of thing I was looking for. Steve, I don't know what I've said to you. Oh, we're talking about the rinse down nozzles. You're welcome, mate. Hopefully that helps. Do you use the TFR on floor surfaces or things like gutters, PVCs, etc.? I use TFR occasionally on composite decking if it's not too stained, but I want to leave it looking shiny. I use it on gutters, fascias, soffits. I use it on conservatories. And the reason I use this particular TFR, this Drive Tech stuff, it's going to be super heavy. Hang on. Oh my god. I use this Drive Tech stuff from GSF Car Parts. Yes, this is one I made earlier. Because it leaves, if you dilute it 1 to 7, which is what the instructions say, it leaves everything super shiny. And if you clean glass with it, you can rinse the glass with tap water and it will leave it hydrophilic. You can literally watch the tap water sheet off the glass as you'd expect from pure water. And so if you're not carrying pure water around with you, or if you aren't able to make it, keeping a tub of that in the van for a conservatory clean, for example. I don't do window cleaning, so it's a really good thing for me to keep in the van. Oh man. Got an extremely large concrete roof tile job. Massive daycare condominium. Never heard of that. What's a condominium? Medium mossy and all just a lot of algae. A little worried I'll be there hand brushing for weeks. Any way to circumvent that? Frisk. How big are we talking? Extremely large concrete roof tile job. Are you on the roof? Are you doing it by hand on the roof? Are you doing it from a tower? Are you doing it with the pole? Have you got anyone helping you? Unfortunately, scraping a roof is just scraping a roof, and there's no quick way to do it unless you think the Marshall Air Pro thing is going to be a worthwhile investment for you, and that's going to make it a bit quicker. I saw someone raving about it on the Facebook the other day. Why am I out of breath? Is it because I've just lifted that? That's crazy. A bit more information, mate, and might be able to help you. I'm not sure. Good day, Alan. Welcome. Just setting off this adventure, enjoying your channel. Oh, awesome. Welcome. Evening, bee's knees. You're right, mate. Have you got any more of those nozzles to sell? I've got 2 here, but to be honest, I'm selling them at a loss, and I think I still owe Darren money for these. You can buy these from PWS. Yeah, Darren, if you're watching, I don't know if you've sent an invoice for these yet, but I'm selling them for I was selling them for 22 quid. Realised I was making a loss because the postage envelope, the padded envelope, is like £1.70. Second class postage is £3.75. And then the cost of the item itself, I was making a loss on each one I was selling, so that was silly, wasn't it? Running a shop isn't as easy as I thought. Rivenstone, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Have a soft brush and a small stiff bristle for those cracks Jake's mentioning. Yep, yeah, we've got multiple different types of brushes. Soft brush at the end is... I've always used the black nozzle to rinse down. There you go. Ace, welcome. Hi Jake, started last year but a long time listener, so thanks for the good advice. What's the best way to clean composite decking? Welcome Ace. I would suggest some Max Clean Pro. Pre-wet the surface. Actually, I think it says put it on dry. Brush in the Max Clean Pro, agitate it. Don't panic when everything turns orange. It's supposed to do that. That's the biocide activating, and that's the product working. And then you could use a flat surface cleaner on composite decking, low pressure, 25-degree nozzles, or you can use a fan jet. But yeah, Max Clean is great on decking, composite and wood, like Luke says. Or you can, if it's not too stained, if it's not a lot of black spots and like those grey spots that like seem to ingrain themselves in the plastic, you could just get away with using some TFR. I know Craig's a big fan of TFR on decking. I started on a very low budget. It's a good way to start from the bottom. Plus, every bit of new equipment you get from jobs you land is like a mini goal achieved. Yeah, it's something to look forward to. Although you can get into that. There's a thing that happens when you keep reinvesting money into the business, and I was talking about this quite early on, is when do you stop upgrading? Like, obviously you've got your maintenance and your repairs, but when's enough when it comes to equipment and stuff? Like, what is your goal? And is this £700 piece of equipment worth the 10-minute saving? When do you stop reinvesting into the business? When do you start enjoying the profits? And I suppose that's a little bit naivety and inexperience for me when it comes to like tax and all that sort of stuff, because reinvesting obviously means you have to pay less tax because your profits will be lower and all that sort of stuff. And but at what point can you be satisfied with the equipment that you've got and the speed at which that you're able to do the jobs? Or is it this constant grind to get faster and more efficient every day by putting all that money back into the equipment, or expanding and getting an employee and a second van and a second machine and all that sort of stuff? Like, at what point do you just say, I'm happy with the setup I've got, I'm going as quick as I need to go, and I'm earning some good money, and this is enough? Because you can get into that trap of keep upgrading stuff and keep spending money, and then that's just that, it sort of runs away with you, and without even thinking, you're just spending all your money back on the business. And like, some people might think that's a good thing, other people might have a little switch moment and think, actually, yeah, like, when, I don't know, for me it was like, when's enough sort of thing. Great shout on the Titan discount. Yeah, I think everyone's interested in it, really. A lot of people, there's a lot of chatter in the Discord about people doing their first repointing jobs, and Tops Tiles own Pro Tiler. Oh, really? And so yeah, I'm just trying to get discounts on stuff that I know people are using, like the Clean Link poles, Gutter Vacuum Systems, 5% off down there, courtesy of Julia. Just because I know a lot of people that watch my channel have got like a Panther or a GVS 3600 or something, or they want to upgrade to some carbon poles. Like, I'm trying to reach out to people that I think are going to be useful for you guys. I love the process going from 11 litres per minute to 15 to 21. Yeah, it's feeling that difference in efficacy when you're doing the jobs, and feeling yourself speeding up every time you're doing your work is like very satisfying. I'm always listening to your advice and I've still not learned anything. LC, what do you mean? What does that mean? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Would you one day plan to do the repointing, cleaning, like transformations for free for YouTube videos? That'd be cool. I mean, there's no point in being greedy if YouTube's paying me and Jakey a decent wage and I don't have to charge for these jobs, and I can just surprise people and say, look, are you pleased with the work we've done? Okay, well, I'm not going to invoice you. Like, you don't have to pay. Like, that would be a very great feeling. But also there's that weird thing about then you have to get the customer's reaction on camera, which feels a little bit like almost predatory to me. It feels like sticking a camera into a customer's face and saying, "So what do you think?" And like, "Here's a gift." Like, cry for the camera, sort of like, I don't know. It just you don't. Sid said it on one of his interviews with Uncleanables recently. He was like, you end up chasing that feeling, and that it feels sort of disingenuous and weird when you're doing it for views. And I resonated with that quite a lot, because I thought I've done a couple of cleans. I've done a couple of free cleans, and it just feels a bit dirty, like filming it all, putting it on YouTube, and then saying, I did this for free, like, what a nice guy I am, sort of thing. Like, I did it once, didn't make a huge fuss about it, but I did it once and I just didn't like the feeling, so I just haven't done it since. But it would be cool. I think if I were to do it, I just wouldn't tell anyone. I'd just make the video as normal and then say to the customer behind closed doors, like, don't worry about paying me, like, YouTube's got this, sort of thing. My plan is just to push like anything and make $2,000 extra a month every month. It's a good goal to have, Liam. Oh, you meant you need to stop YouTube? Oh, I don't know. You're giving me mixed signals now, Liam. You just said you want to make $2,000 a month. Just finished watching the poolside pointing. Great results. Thanks, Noah. Cheers, mate. Where do you guys get your high pressure connectors couplings from? I'm finding all the different sizes a bit confusing. It is confusing. We got ours from, it's a mixture of PWSAS, Pressure Washer Sales and Service. These guys are in Evesham. So they built Jakey's machine with all the nice fittings on it. And they've got all these starter packs and stuff, and they only supply machines with the best fittings. Or I think Darren upgraded a lot of stuff on my machine, and this is PWS. Both very similar names. Precious Washers in Stafford, or Pressure Washer Sales and Service in Evesham. I'm sure places like Rutland Pumps and AC Pressure Washers will be able to help you out as well. If you can find like a local service place or repair place or supplier, I'd recommend just going in and telling them what you want, rather than ordering stuff online and trying to figure it out for yourself. It's very difficult. I had a load of, I've got this TFR, I've got 3 tubs here, and I had another 4 tubs sat in the kitchen. They've been in the kitchen since Sausage Fest, like before Christmas. So I've just put them out in the garden yesterday, just to get them out of the kitchen for a bit. Evening, Brad, welcome. Regarding goal setting, they always say to make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. So you need you need a time frame for your goal. Because if it's an infinite time frame, like I just want to have this by, you know, at some point, it's like, well, that goal can extend to forever, and you might never hit it. If you've got like a time constraint, it means you're doing everything within your power to get it done within that time frame. I think from what you're saying, you find it hard to make them realistic, achievable. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I think I find it hard creating a goal in the first place. Just wondering what a good goal would be for me, because at the moment I'm floating. I'm just in this weird spot where I don't know which direction I'm going with the business. I know I enjoy doing the videos. I know I enjoy doing this and giving, you know, trying to give advice and stuff. I've said this before, but at the moment I am just the subject of things that are happening to me, which is a weird place to be. I am the subject of external forces happening instead of having a clear direction and pointing myself and pointing the business in a specific direction, something to work towards. Raspberry, vanilla and hibiscus tea. These, I know I'm sponsored now, and I know I would say this. Honestly, I'm really enjoying them. Jakey's just got his shaker as well. I got Rich one today. Sophie's got her pink shaker, and she's got a starter pack. They're absolutely lovely. And most importantly, it's making me drink more water. So I realised the other day that I had a black coffee in the morning. I had a black coffee at 7 o'clock. My next drink was a Coke, a Pepsi, at KFC at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I didn't drink anything else for the rest of the day. A black coffee and a Pepsi all day doing super physical work. And that's quite a regular occurrence. I keep forgetting to drink water, and so these are really helping me to stay on top of my fluids, because it's easy to forget when you're grafting. Jake, when do you take payment for pressure washing a job? After the wash or after return to resand? I send them my bank details after the wash and just say pay whenever you're ready. Like, I'm not really bothered. Sometimes they'll just pay there and then, or sometimes they'll want to pay half and like pay the rest. And I say, don't bother, just send it all at once whenever you're ready. A lot of customers, it's about 50-50. Some will wait till you come back to resand. Others will just pay you and trust that you're going to come back to resand. Doesn't really make a difference, to be honest. I know in the early days it does, but when you're doing like 5 to 10 jobs a week, cash flow is generally not an issue at that point. In the early days, like, every penny counts, and if you can get paid for each job as soon as possible, like, it really does help. But how do you price jobs, Harry? I price jobs per square meter. I've got a set cost for each different surface. I've got a calculator online to help me work out my pricing. So smelt.club will send you to this quoting tool. Type in your square meterage, your base price, whether you're resanding. It'll ask you for your cost of the ceiling materials, all that sort of stuff. See if it helps you. It might not, but my recommendation is to get yourself a cost per square meter for each surface, and then find a good, reliable way of measuring that surface. Once you've got a pricing structure, you'll be flying. Hope that helps, Harry. As the industry evolves, we will forever be chasing the next and the best. That's the thing, that's the issue, is things keep getting better, or I'm not sure if things actually keep getting better, or whether just new inventions come out where it's like, oh, that looks good, or I'm not sure if that's going to work. I need to buy it to try it out. There's so much stuff you can buy. I could write a list probably about 20 items long of stuff that I'd like to try. But like, if you bought all of them just to try them out and realise half of them are crap, you wasted so much money at that point. How much water do I need to get out of the tap for a 21 litre per minute machine to work effectively? Linnies, you might be surprised to learn that you'd need 21 litres per minute. It's that simple. Unless you've got a buffer tank sat between the tap and your machine. So generally for most machines, 15, 20, 25 litres per minute, I'd say 250 litre tank is more than adequate generally. And so even if your customer's got like 13, 14 litres per minute coming out of the tap, as long as you fill that tank up first before you start your machine up, you'll have all that water to burn through. Bearing in mind the tap's still on, so it's still filling up as you're burning through it. It means you can do all that until it gets to the bottom before you have to stop and wait for it to fill up again. If the tap's producing 21 litres per minute and you're on full revs and full pressure, then it's going to stay at a very consistent water level. If it's low, then you're going to burn through it a little bit quicker, and eventually you're going to need to refill the tank. Is it okay to use a quick connect fitting for your suction pipe to connect to my buffer tank? Some guy told me it can cause air in the system. Is this true? I've got a quick connect fitting on mine. I suppose if you've got a damaged O-ring in the quick release, then it will cause an air leak and loss of suction. But if everything's in good condition, there's no reason why it should. Struggling to get hold of the 65-degree broom nozzle, Jake. The link you posted on your videos doesn't sell it anymore. Contact PWSAS or Darren from PWS. They'll sort you out. You've probably been asked 1,000 times, but how much would you expect to pay for a half-decent system that would be upgradable coming from a complete newbie? The upgradable part is the difficult bit because you'll be very limited by the engine. So if you were to get like a GX200 engine, that is only suitable for a certain size pump. Whereas if you get a GX390, you could start with the smaller pump. I don't know why you would. And then eventually put a bigger pump on it. But at that point, you might as well just go for a big beefy machine and get everything, 21 litre per minute. All singing, all dancing. No, mate, I can't recommend a half-decent system that's upgradable, unfortunately. If you give me some sort of budget or price that you've got in your head that you'd be happy to pay, I could make some suggestions on what sort of machine you could get, maybe. What are people's favourite wellies? Good question. I am due to upgrade mine. Mine are falling apart. Evening Gold Trigger, welcome. Buck boots, I see those talked about quite a lot, although I think they're quite heavy. The steel toe cap looks unnecessary for what we do. I would make my goals to come off the tools. That would give me more time to enjoy the other stuff. True. Yeah, to get to the point where you can step back and things carry on running as they were running before without you. That's a good goal to have. There's a lot of things you need to put in place before that can happen, but that's definitely a good goal. Do you price render cleans per square meter also? I'd imagine to a bit more difficult to measure them. I don't do a lot of render cleans. I haven't cleaned like a full house that's got loads of render on it. Haven't cleaned that before. I've cleaned like small sections of walls with render on them. I've actually just priced up a job that's got like low render walls around the property, and it's just a lot of it is eyeballing, thinking like how long is that going to take me. And if I were to do a full house clean, I'd probably just set myself a target of like a rough cost per side. Same with like gutter vacuuming or PVC washing. You could try and work it out per square meter, but I think it'd be difficult. If you check out like Matt just suggested, we did a recent live stream, me and Matt did, where we asked about 86 people across the UK how they price stuff. It's this one here, finding out how much you charge, episode 86 in the live streams tab. Quite a long one. This one was 5 hours long, this episode was. But towards the end, there's some like insight into pricing conservatories, pricing render, I believe. I think render's in there. I'm sure Matt will confirm in a minute. But it's basically graphs of this is what people said, this is how much people charge all across the UK. So it's a really, I think that's a good episode to watch if you're trying to figure out your pricing. Lots of useful little nuggets of information in there, I believe. I would say that though, because it's my video. Matt's a very good guy to talk to about that sort of stuff as well. How would you recommend a tradesperson getting their first few jobs when starting out in 2025? 9, welcome. I would say the way I did it was I did my mum's patio, and my mum posted it on her Facebook page, and or I posted it on my Facebook page, and my mum shared it and said, my son's just washed my patio, he does pressure washing now. All her friends saw it, so I got 2 jobs in the street and another 2 jobs from like her friends in the town, her work friends. I did my nan's drive. I didn't do any work for free. I just did it at like a lower cost. Did my nan's driveway, and the little old lady across the road wanted hers doing, and then Margaret from down the road caught wind because my nan was on the phone to her, and she said, oh, can you send him round to quote my patio? And so I did hers as well, and it just snowballs. Recommendations, take pictures of everything, make a Facebook page, put them all on, and get going. Take photos of everything you do and just stay consistent. That's what I'd suggest. Just hearing about the Marshall Air system, is it worth the cost versus normal scraping? I've never used it, mate. I can't comment. I don't know. It looks, I think it would be effective on a dry roof. I think it'd probably be less effective on a wet roof, but I have no opinion. I can't speak on it. If anyone has used the Marshall Air in the chat, feel free to let us know. Can't upgrade the GX390 to Steam without a ball ache. Wish I went with the Vanguard. Really? Is that because of the recirculation power output of like the battery, like the charge? It can't power the boiler or something? Do you need like an extra solar charger battery setup to make it work? Would £2 get you in the game? Yeah, I got in the game for 400 quid. Just depends on what sort of money you want to spend on your equipment. Used ChatGPT to measure the render from a photo the other day. It did it perfectly. What? You can give ChatGPT a photo and ask it to measure it. That's pretty insane. Can I do that now? Is that a feature of like the normal ChatGPT? Attach. Okay. Okay. You can give it your voice as well. Right. Render house. Right. Copy image. Paste. Attach. Advanced features for free. Oh, let me log in. Hang on. I do have the account. If this works, this is insane. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. There's no way this works. Open. Please, because you've always got to be polite when it comes to using AI, please give me a rough measurement in meters squared for all sides of this property. I'm trying to work out the area of. I'm trying to work out the area of render in the image. To estimate the total area, 4 steps, break it down. Approximate dimensions: the width, front and back, is 6 meters, depth 9 meters, height 6 meters, excluding the roof. Is that about right? Are we taking out the windows? Calculate the area of each side. The front is 6 by 6, 36 meters squared. Windows and doors reduction, 6 meters squared. Net render area. This is wild. What the hell? It's done it. It's actually removed the doors and windows as well. I don't know how accurate it would be. Doors and window reduction, 6 meters squared. Net render area, 30 meters squared. Assume that it's similar to the front. 9 by 6. The depth of that, 9 meters. I mean, it would be able to work out perspective better than me just eyeballing it, because it would do it like algorithmically, I suppose. 50 meters squared. Total render area, 30 by 30 by 50 by 50. 160 square meters of render. Do you think that would be like correct on that property? On that? If that works, that's wild that you can just pass it an image like that. I wonder if I can give it a satellite image that I've measured before. Like, let's see if we can give it like a nice clear. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one that I've already measured. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Screenshots. Two seconds, guys. Like, this is quite interesting. Let me just try and pass it this image. Can you tell me the square? Oh, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'll remove. Who's just become a member? Fuller, welcome. I'm going to pull this image up. I'm going to open it with pictures. And so this driveway here is 152 square meters, okay? Let's crop out that portion of the image. And let's just feed it that. And it's got references with the cars and all that sort of stuff. Save a copy. Where's that? Is that image going to be at the top now? Sort. Date modified. Where's that image just gone? Damn it. Hang on, 2 seconds. This is like super intriguing. Where did I just save that to? Bloody hell. I've got it. What did I say? 152? Can you tell me the rough meter squared of this driveway highlighted in yellow? Have I spelt highlighted right? If this comes out at 152 square meters, I think that's what it was. This is crazy. I can't directly measure the area from the image, but I can help to estimate it based on typical measurements. Narrow section, smaller section, front section. Oh, it's close. 145 meters squared. And to be fair, in my image, I've overlapped quite a lot. That's not bad, you know. That's pretty sick that it can do that. And it's actually broken it down by sections as well. Fuller, thank you so much for becoming a member. Very cool of you. You've now got access to the Discord. Does anyone else think that's pretty cool? I don't think people have a clue how much AI is going to change our lives. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't seem a million miles off. I can put screenshots in the Discord of how I did it. Yeah, do it. It used windows and doors as reference for sizing. Yep. Use the exact same photo and see if you get exact same answers. No worries, 9. What's your main lead generation strategy? Is it mainly word of mouth referrals, or does YouTube help a lot too? YouTube's probably the least helpful. I'd say Facebook. My reels on Facebook are the best. Before and after pictures, reels, shorts, those are the best. Then it's referrals, recommendations. Then it's things like people's found me on TikTok or Instagram, and then it's probably YouTube. I'm a telehandler operator, but work is quiet at the minute. I'm becoming tired of running around to make everyone else some money. I've wanted to work for myself for quite a while. There you go. Timestamp 9 PM. 12 minutes. Damn it. What would help with roof cleaning? The obvious, such as sniper nozzles, foot pedals, are needed. So the pole that I've just borrowed from H2O is actually just a phantom pole with a turbo nozzle on the end. No trigger, no foot pedal, nothing. What happens is the high pressure hose comes out the bottom, and you've got your trigger, your lance, or your trigger on the end of your pressure washer like you've normally got, and then they just plug that hose into the trigger and have a second man on the ground holding the trigger. So all the guy on the tower has to do is focus on just using this pole. He doesn't need the foot pedal, he doesn't need the trigger. He's just communicating with the guy on the ground, and he says sometimes they've got those vario adjusters on there. So he's like, can you just give me a little bit more pressure? And he does it, and okay, a little bit less now, a little bit less. And he's just got the pole, and he can move it up and down because he's not got a trigger to hold on to. That could be... I'm trying it tomorrow with Jakey on our day off. Had a quote today, 98 meters squared of block paving. The guy said he's happy. The wife then opens the window and says, no, he's not. No thanks. He said he'll call me this week. Somehow I doubt it. Oh no. Oh dear. You give him the price and the guy said yes, and the wife said no. I don't think I've read that. Sintra AI looks interesting, but spenny. Built on ChatGPT model. Yeah, I mean, I've not really followed AI at all, to be honest. I've not been keeping up. That was quite impressive from ChatGPT. Oh, dearie me, struggling. Nathan, welcome. What insurance do you have, and have you ever caused damage? No, luckily never caused damage. I'm currently with Howden. They've got like a special exterior cleaners insurance that's really tailored to our industry, which is cool. Guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm knackered. I I've got some stuff to do. I've got to order some Titan. I've got to do some quotes and stuff. So I'm probably going to be up till like midnight, just getting back to all the messages that I've had today, because my phone's been going wild and I haven't looked at it once. So I've got some emails that have come through as well. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please watch the new YouTube video and like it and comment on it and like engage with it and stuff. That'd be very cool. I mean, we've done almost 2 hours. It's not bad, is it? Hi and bye then. I have quotes to do, to be fair. Yeah, it's part-time. Normally we go on for like 3 or 4 hours sometimes, but I haven't stopped since I woke up at like 7 AM. I haven't stopped today. I feel out of breath just talking. We're so close to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. 49.4k. That's pretty cool. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next week. And I really do appreciate every single one of you watching the videos and stuff. Please give the stream a like and a thumbs up and watch the videos and stuff. Appreciate it. See you in a bit. Bye. Now these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit, on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only, where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels. We've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have 2 other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going, but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching.